Hello everyone, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with some training. I'm just gonna go right into the training mode, or at least character guides. Do a couple minutes of training, then we're gonna start fighting off the CPU for a little bit. Just kind of practice around for a little while and get good. Get motherfucking good. I've been watching some videos online of people doing some pretty cool tech with Luke. They're not tech, but combos. So a little inspired at the moment. Okay, it was boom, bam, bam, bam. Yeah, I think you can. No. It was this. Hey, what? Oh, that was it. Okay. I wasn't sure what I did any different. Same thing. How was it different all of a sudden? I'm guessing you have to do drive rush in order to land that. Yeah, drive rush is required. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Can I extend off that? Wonder, can I extend off that? I feel like I can extend off that. Hey. I swear you can extend off that. No friggin' way. That's right, I gotta drive rush into it. Maybe I gotta extend it by holding it down. That doesn't make any sense. That's not what I want. Near. I'm getting it wrong. How am I getting that wrong? I need to over exaggerate the input. I'm trying to do a wall juggle combo. So one of the things that I saw some videos online of some loot combos that look pretty damn snazzy, and I think after you do the air juggle, I think you can DP after that. I'm missing the timing. That or just the recovery's too long. The recovery's too long. Maybe I have to hold it down. No, what am I doing? Yeah, hold it down. Try that. That looks like that can extend. Maybe not. Yeah, too much recovery. Won't connect. That will not connect. How's your day been so far, Lou? See here. I found that there's a limit on the on these air juggles, though. Yeah, I'm trying to see what I could do for air juggles just so I can get some snazzy combos under my belt when the game releases. Plus, it's just fun trying to land them. They usually are. Like, Street Fighter's really doesn't do many air juggles. It's pretty rare that they have characters or even options to do air juggles. You know, usually it's like a 1-2 hit in the air and that's about it. Juri's a kind of an exception. She usually gets like 4 or 5 hits just because of the way that she has built in like air juggles into her combos. So it tends to be a little on the rare side that characters usually have air juggles that extend beyond 2 hits. But I swore I thought I saw something at one point in time that may have juggled into it. One of the things I'm realizing is that in order to land Luke's air juggles, it has to be done. I wonder, can I do it off of EX? Yeah, it has to be done off of a drive rush. You can only do his air juggles if you connect a drive rush attack before you try the air juggle attempt. If you do it without the drive rush, it will not connect because it doesn't change the property of the attack. Like the air juggle strike changes their hitbox, or it changes their hit reaction, so then you can juggle off that. But if you try doing it standard wise, it won't connect. But you know, if you do it like this, you know, and then that connects and then you juggle off of it. But very few moves have that kind of option. Like, you know, I think something like this might work. Or no. No, it would have to be upward. Hard to do. Perfect one is so good to plan. Gotta wait a little bit longer. It's not true combos anyways, but that is so difficult to land. His negative edge like combinations are really tricky to land consistently. Like, I can land them every once in a while, but doing it consistently is really hard. Just because of the negative edge part. I'm not used to doing negative edge as a built-in mechanic, but it's fun. Yeah, that won't connect. I'm accidentally getting that because I'm over inputting. Alright, I'm spamming buttons too much. That won't do that. falls down too fast. So it looks like the only way to do air juggles with him really is when they're at the wall. Would be another move that can combine that. Oh, wait a minute. You can do it again? No, that yeah, I thought that was too good to be true. You can do it off the light version because that's a different hit property. You can't charge it again because that won't work. Yeah, just doesn't allow it. How do you feel about micro walking? You ever heard of that? Micro walking is this. And yes, obviously, since I'm showing you what it is, it's a common technique. It's nothing. I mean, it's been around since every fighting game. You see it even in King of Fighters. You'll see it in Guilty Gear. You'll see it in every fighting game. It's more prominent in Street Fighter because of the movement system in this game is so restrictive. Moving in Street Fighter has always been more about like pacing and walking and spacing. So micro moving is, you know, is a thing. Sometimes in certain combinations, though I haven't seen it in Street Fighter 6 so far, some combos in some fighting games require micro walking in order for you to extend combos. Those are usually some of the most difficult combos to do, but you know, it's a thing. It's been around. You'll notice micro walking you'll notice it pretty heavily in with like hitboxes because you can micro walk. This is literally just a press of a button. You can walk in that direction, but it's if you can master micro walking, it's a very powerful technique. Your question is, you think this is viable in Street Fighter 6? Yes, most definitely. The hard part of micro walking isn't moving back like this. This is the easy part. The hard part is going forward and doing it in the opposite direction. That's the hard part. Because especially if you're using a fight stick like I am, or even a D-pad, you have to go from one direction to the opposite, and you lose time from that. So it's really hard on your not only on your hand or on your wrist for that matter. What it's hard on is to do complex inputs. So a lot of times when people are micro walking, they're just, you know, pressing simple buttons. But the pros, they've gotten so good at micro walking, they literally can do supers off of it like that. You know, I can do some complex movements like that, but that's hard even for me. That's tricky. But with the hitbox, it's a little bit easier. But it still is challenging. When I say a little bit easier, it's not a lot easier. It's still a challenge, even with the hitbox. To go from one direction to the other is a challenge. It's not a skill that you need to master in order to be like the best. But it is a very powerful tool. I mean, I suppose technically it would be a skill that you would need to master, but I think for like people like you and me, average players that are looking to level up, it's not a skill that you need to master, but you will master it naturally through more play. As a matter of fact, the CPU at level 8 uses micro walking. It's very good at micro walking. You'll notice it a lot. So yes, I do think it's a viable strategy in Street Fighter 6. But that's a skill I wouldn't get too hung up about. Basically the way I would practice it is just do a little bit of it at a time, and before long your muscle memory in your brain will just remember to start doing it, because the instincts will begin to be ingrained into you. Oh, micro walking in regards to preserving drive gauge during drive rush combos. That's the debate. Okay. Let's see, micro walking in regards to preserve drive rush combos. I mean, any advantage helps. If it does help you preserve some drive rush, I suppose it could be helpful. I don't see why not. The big thing is that I think ultimately a strategy like that, like to preserve a gauge, it's a little bit of an advantage, but I don't think it's like that big a deal. Like ultimately preserving gauge, even with the drive gauge for that matter, preserving drive gauge or preserving gauge isn't really the concern with this game. It's utilizing it. The real thing about this game is that using your gauge at the right time, at the right moment, is really the trick. You can save up your gauge, or preserve your gauge, or find out tricks that can help you get more gauge back. All that stuff doesn't entirely matter if you don't utilize the gauge at the right time. So I think it is helpful, but I'm doubtful that it's going to be a game changer. So you're saying, here's the thing, in my opinion, micro walking is flawed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of examples of micro walking that we're talking about, but if we're talking about it in theory, it should be flawed. At the end of the day, I just don't think it really matters the most. It just matters that you just utilize what is available to you when you can. I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing down with the level 8 CPU. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't entirely matter one way or another. If someone has figured out some kind of like gimmicky technique to get better at the game. The only time I've ever seen a fighting game actually have a gimmicky technique that truly like broke the game was either Mortal Kombat's combo system, Mortal Kombat 2's combo system, or Tekken's Korean backdashing. That's one of the few times where I felt like that actually made a meaningful difference in a video game, or at least in a fighting game to such an extreme extent. In most cases, it doesn't really entirely matter.
To pressure the opponent, throwing on even more pressure with the fireball. We're still in the early going, and it's really anyone's fight. Drive gauge is at the limit for both fighters. Definitely shuts out the jumping. Now they get pushed into the corner, or it's going to be.
But we're gonna have a.
Buy some time by driving them into
I'll
the
post
corner.
a link in the video I saw in case you want to check it out. Yeah, definitely post it. I want to see it. So that way I can learn a little bit more about what you're talking about. We'll definitely be having a conversation today about some gameplay footages that came out over the last couple days about Street Fighter 6. Obviously, there's been a lot of coverage between people that had access to the early build of the game. We'll be checking those things out, talking a little bit about that stuff. But in the meantime, we're gonna do a little bit of training, and then after a while, we'll be moving into that part of the stream. Yikes. I tried to react to that, but I was a little late on that.
Still slugging it out at this range. Both fighters planning something? Player 2 will look to apply pressure here.
Woo, I barely got that in time.
Good heads-up decision opting for the drive attack.
Maximize damage. I could go for a longer combo, but I don't want to because I want to save my meter and then also put him out of meter.
Player 2 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. Are we gonna see a comeback?
One of the big things I've realized about playing the level 8 CPU is when you put them out of meter, you are so much more positive than I realized. Like, I knew that you were always positive on strikes because if they're out of meter, the attack properties, the attack frames on your attacks when they block it is different, but I didn't realize it was that different. Like, you have frame traps that were not available to you when they're not in burnout. And I started realizing that as I was playing the CPU that there are so many ways you can frame trap the CPU right after you push them into burnout. So it's one of the things I'm starting to realize is that the way the game's like drive mechanics kind of are designed is that you want to force, in some ways you kind of want to force your opponent out of drive meter, not just so that way they have less tools, but also because when you attack them, you gain more frames while they block, so you can actually do frame traps in ways that you couldn't do before. Like, typically, like, crouching medium twice wouldn't always frame trap, or that, you know, depending on the character, but it wouldn't always frame trap. But with that drive burnout, you could be pushed into that.
Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Strings it all together.
Oh shit.
Now they get pushed into the corner, or it's going to be very difficult to escape. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunities. Uses the drive rush here to steal their turn. Knockdown. Neither of them willing to back off.
Ah shit. It's the timing again.
End game now. It's getting tense.
Oh no, it just has that much delay. It's completely invulnerable during the first block. Okay. I didn't know that about that target combo. That target combo is really vulnerable after the first hit. I wonder if it's negative after a block. I'll have to test that out.
Player 2 needs to use the threat of the corner here.
Oh no, I fucked up. I totally fucked up.
Their opponent might go for a side. Player 1 is working
there
with
we
a
go.
better game. What can they do with it? What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Shows a medium kick. You've got to be mindful of leg sing. Checks with a sandbox. Player 1 is in a very good spot now. Close. Oh, yo,
He just Daigo parried me. The fucking AI just Daigo parried me. The AI just showed off. He could Daigo parry me, kind of. It would have slowed down time if it was a perfect parry, but he practically Daigo parried me.
This is it. Who's gonna take it off? The drive impact doesn't work. Big game close. There's the burnout.
Oh, I did it too soon.
PhD and fighters can do for you. Player 1 is looking at a grim situation with burnout. Ooh, what a smart throw. Player 2 needs to take advantage of this gauge disparity. Taking nothing stops this train. Gut punch.
That's gonna hurt. He's gonna level 3 me up.
Uh-oh. This could really tip the scale.
What's wrong? Get up!
Player 2 is mounting a comeback. What else is up next? It pumps the brakes on the impact. Gotta
Stop
do
it.
better than that. Player 1 has the super gauge all in with the rush. Player 1 is
I was
looking
banking
at a
everything
grim
on that
situation
trap.
with burnout. They're in range. We gonna see a jump in? A dash? There's a burnout. Throws them. Ugh, take. Oh my, the throw tech answers with a fireball. Oh my god, lost super. They're just gonna go for
Go ahead and keep blocking. It'll break through.
Player 1 is gonna be watching replays for this one for a while.
He posted the link. I didn't see
down
it,
to
by the way.
wire. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time. What the? Cops while they're blinking. The drive impact doesn't work. Excellent block to shut out the impact. Both fighters want to establish themselves early on. The throw connects for counter hit damage.
Oh, you gotta be
That
shitting
throw
me.
hits for a punish counter. We can't take out of it. This is where things will get interesting as the damage starts to pile up on both fighters. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. Good job blocking the jump in. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage.
Shit.
Lands the forward throw. The corner pressure in there. Player 1 picks up the first round.
Unless
That'll
when
give
you're
them a
saying that's what I'm
psychological
talking
advantage.
about, are you saying that I get it, or you post the video because I did not see the video get posted?
Starting off with fireballs right from the get-go.
But if you can't post it, I can always just look it up.
Look
Because
at
like I
the
said, we're going to be
damage
doing
that
some
can
discussion
come out with the
videos,
combo. Things are
or
heating
discussions today.
Player 2 will look to apply pressure here. Both fighters have a full super meter
Oh shit,
on deck.
AI set that up. That was a fucking cool setup.
The super hit and this
It's funny, even a couple like esports channels were covering how Daigo was struggling against the level 8 CPU. It was kind of funny. I was seeing some YouTube shorts about that.
Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point. Final round.
Shit, this is
Who will
bad.
the fighting game gods favor here? Doesn't miss a beat. Here comes both all in with a rush. Player 1 needs to take advantage of this gauge disparity. What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Their drive is limited. What's the ground come from above? Oh, here we go.
Oh wow.
There's with a sandblast. There's a burnout. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Player 1 can't use any drive.
Oh no, you get hit and burned it.
Are done. Player 2 made some smart moves there.
Street Fighter 6 Ryu Advanced Micro Walk. Link rebuilds meter, rebuilds bar. Okay, that's fine. We'll look it up on YouTube, but I think I have an idea what you're talking about. I think I have a pretty good idea what you're talking about it advancing on me and trying to get some meter back.
It's time to select the fighters.
And again, any little advantage could help, but at the end of the day, the game is really based on just how do you even use it. Like gaining, you can have the full meter the whole time, but it means nothing if you don't utilize it at the right time.
Our fighters are pumping themselves up and are raring to go. Who's going to come out on top in this fight? Here we go. What are these fighters going to do?
Easy there.
The combo's there.
I do appreciate how the level 8 CPU teaches you so much.
Small life lead, but it's
Fuck, I
not
screwed
over.
up the drive rush.
Surprises them.
Probably good that I screwed it up.
All right, what's coming up next? Player 2 chases them down.
Screwed that up badly.
That's some big juicy damage on that counter hit. At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important. Jumps in. Checks him with the projectile.
Oh fuck, he got me on the whip punish.
Player
That's the
two
title of the video?
on the
I'll look it up
first
then.
with the win.
Yeah, we'll check it out and talk about it.
Jumps. Who's going to start?
Of course he threw me.
That attack landed for a counter hit. They'll have to decide how to
Missing the
follow
timing.
up. Springs forward with the drive rush. Oh, they're in the corner now. No one uses the gauge for a super art.
Oh, he missed!
Doesn't hit.
Hey, he's gonna push me right out of fucking meter.
Big flex. The broken jaw. Sure you can.
What's wrong? Get up!
Gotta be careful. Drive rush to keep it going. Looks like they want to put a new spin on the impact. Squashed. A trade, but they're not worried. Life lead is there, but still anyone's game. Close in.
Fucking go! That's a neutral under control.
Expect to see some fireworks. The last round. It's now or never. Dashes reads the throw and escape. Rising uppercut. Which fighter will control the pace of the all in with a rush? When it turns out.
I missed it. Yeah, I did it too late.
What now? Player 2 is in a very good spot. Sets up with the jump in.
Okay, good. He didn't have meter.
Player 2 has the super gauge advantage. Are you kidding me?
This is a bullshit target combo. It doesn't do the most amount of damage as a target combo, but that's a bullshit easy target combo. Thank God that target combo is super negative. Otherwise, Luke's target combo would be so fucking broken. Although his 1, 2, 3 target combo is absurdly good, though, considering you can special cancel out of it. But if his medium punch one was not punishable, it'd be so broken.
Uses this opportunity to really lay into the opponent with a damaging combo. Decent damage. What's next? Player 2 is going to have a hard time managing.
There we go, pushed him out.
How much damage can they deal before the opponent's drive gauge replenishes? Oh, can they survive this badly timed burnout? Big counter. Takes him all the way to the corner with that. Takes a trip. Uses the drive rush here.
What's nice now is that after I've played the CPU so much, as I've been training, I now can kind of fight the CPU where I'm like content with my movement. Like I'm actually intentionally trying to beat him using my own techniques, using my own methods, without relying on gimmicks, you know, without like, last time when I did the challenge, because I wasn't very good at it, I had to rely purely on some like technique, like on some really gimmicky techniques, try to overcome the CPU. But now I can just straight up challenge him. Still, he's still fucking hard and still really difficult, but it's nice because now I'm like getting to that level. I'm getting more I'm playing, the more confident I'm getting with the game. I'm feeling more confident. I'm feeling engaged in a way that makes me feel like I'm growing, despite the fact that it's a level 8 CPU. A lot of times in other fighting games, like level 8 CPUs are just cheap as fuck, so you don't really like learn anything.
This may turn into a big
I am talking about King of Fighters. King of Fighters has some of like the cheapest, not just bosses, but sometimes the CPUs just do things that are just so absurd.
What's next? Burns out.
Oh fuck, I just ate that shit. That's dead though.
It's enough. Player 2 made some smart moves there. Great game. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Fires a blast. Gets the jump
Fucking
in.
set that up.
You can open up chances to do big damage by baiting something out, getting that opening, and then jumping in. Spends the gauge on the drive rush. Tries to keep the pressure on the opponent by zoning with fireball. Player 1 chases them down. Knockdown. Uses the drive rush here to steal
Fucking A, off of lights.
into the combo for more damage. Heading into the end game now. It's getting tense. Perfect input.
Fucking go!
Use the super. Player 2 needs to hold out until their drive gauge recovers. Closing moments of the match.
Fucking go.
Player 1 picks up the always important first round.
Beating the level 8 CPU is just patience and manipulating it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is that before, when I was beating it, I was utilizing patience and just trying to manipulate it any way I can. But now I feel I can actually like play against the thing. I can take risks and take challenges now. It's not to say that that isn't a valid strategy, because that's what I did the first time. But now I don't feel the need to do that anymore. Now I feel confident about what I'm doing. I can just rely on playing the game. I can rely on like taking risks on going for my combos. There we go. You know, if I wanted to, I could do exactly like I did during the challenge, which is just throw fireballs, space control in the whole fucking game. So that, you know, the CPU makes a mistake, but now I feel like I'm actually like gotten to a spot where I can actually challenge him, take risks, and try to do like not necessarily mind games, but more like play setups a little bit. Because sometimes the fucking AI still reads the input. It's a testament to how good the CPU is designed in this game. It's not just hard, but it's smartly built. It's built in a way where it feels like you're playing against a player. And that's where I get frustrated with CPUs in like other fighting games, because sometimes the fucking CPU is not playing fair. You know they're not. Art of Fighting has a really good designed CPU, but the boss, like the last two like characters they have to get through at the end of every Art of Fighting game, is just so fucking ridiculous, because they just read every input. And King of Fighters is notorious, especially its older games, are notorious for its bosses. Not just because the bosses are ridiculous, but they just read where you're gonna be at the exact point on the map.
Here in the first round. Checks with a projectile. Drive rush to try and keep up the attack. Player one chases them down. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunity. Player one is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage.
Oh shit.
Knockdown. Connects with medium kick.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Experiencing
Oh, I
burnout.
fucked up. Okay, at least I got him.
Player one picks up the first round.
Okay, now
That'll give them
perfect
a psychological
KO of the
advantage.
level CPU, or level 8 CPU then. I probably will at some point. I've done it before. I've already done it on my own free time. But it'll happen eventually. Just, you know, you don't ever, like, even when you're going in a live match, you don't ever go into the live match saying, I'm gonna perfect my opponent. It just happens. You just get the right momentum at that right time.
Uses the target combo as a filler. Scrapping it out up close.
It'll probably happen at some point in time today. If not, whenever. Oh, fucking shit.
Last round, people.
Dropping combos.
Go all in from this point. Final round. Who will the fighting game gods favor here? Give me a super art to show what a PhD fighters can do for you. Player one.
I really did not think that I would like Luke as much as I do.
Scrambling here to avoid that corner. Both absolutely
Almost got it there.
refusing to give up ground.
He backdashed. He fucking backdashed. See, that was like, that's what I'm talking about, that calculated risk. I didn't know he was gonna backdash, but after I did that combination, I knew he had one of three choices: either fireball me, dash in, or dash back. I didn't know he was gonna dash back. I just knew that those are one of three choices that he had in that moment because the block stun I applied. He could neutral jump, but he'd still get hit. So the only real option at that point really is just either dashing forward. You could block, but if he wanted to block, I'd be safe. He wouldn't be able to punish me at that range because he'd be pushed back. And that's kind of like the thinking process that I'm talking about, where I'm actively thinking about what I'm doing before I even do it. It comes with just confidence. The more you play the game, the more confident that you get. Otherwise, like when I was first playing the level 8 CPU, I was unconfident about anything I was doing. That's why I was relying on the control and the patience manipulation tactic, because I was so unconfident about anything I was doing. And now that I've been playing against the CPU so much now, it just feels like I trust my instincts.
Big counter. Okay.
Of course, it's not to say that the CPU doesn't blow me out when it happens. But it's a testament to how good the CPU is built in this game. A lot of times you don't feel that in fighting games. Like, the way you play against the CPU, you have to like turn off your human brain part so much. But now, I don't have to turn it off completely. I can rely on some human techniques. But in other fighting games, it's not the case. A lot of times you have to just not rely on human techniques at all. You just have to react. Like all those hits, all those spacing hits were just purely me guesstimating that he was gonna move in that area.
One hit's gonna do it.
Like, yeah, guess that.
Player one picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling. Connect with medium kick.
It's not even to say like I've leveled up past the CPU at this point. It's really to say that I've just gotten to a point now where I'm confident in the game. Like I trust my instincts.
Max SA gauges, unbelievably in sync with a chance to score big here.
That's negative. So they block that, they can crouch, they can light that.
Throws a fireball. Oh, they're in the corner now. No running away. Sandblast. That's a counter.
Oh fuck, that was a mistake. A bad habit that I have that is very common for most fighting game players is when I fail at like a combination, like for example, let's say that I do a combo and I fail it, I'll try it again just to prove to myself that I can do it, but in doing so, I fall into a trap against the opponents, not just the CPU, but even against human opponents, because I want to do the move that I wanted to do, I was trying to set up so badly that I move right into traps. I move right into, you know, I forget about all the things I'm supposed to be doing. It's a very common mistake. That's just because you get emotional and then you lose track of what you're supposed to be doing. He got me there. That's gonna kill. Oh, and almost kill. Yeah. So it's just something that happens from time to time, but it's fun.
It's not over yet. Let's believe it's time for that comeback.
Oh shit. I should have thought that through a little bit more.
Uses the drive rush here to steal their turn. Decent return on that combo.
Jumping into the corner.
Some juicy damage. But can they ride this wave? This is the range where things get messy. Can they utilize their reach or bait each other out? Got some big juicy damage on that counter hit. Player one creates a good corner opportunity. I'm experiencing burnout. Closing moments of the match. One hit's gonna do it. They were not
walked right. I walked back a millimeter away because I knew that leg would drop within my range, and I fucking counter poked it. Shit.
Okay, they trade hits. Throws them to negate the block. Good work staying in throw range there.
Fucking go. Half health. Half his health is just gone.
Set up the punching bag. Player one will look to apply pressure here.
Oops. Man, that is so negative. The fucking medium punch target combo for Luke is so negative. Oh shit, that might be it. That's dead. Fuck. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Final round. Who will the fighting game gods favor here? And with a rock. Both absolutely refusing to give up ground. Player one links it. There's the burnout. Turning it right up with a super.
And walk back. There we go. Space control. Easy.
Gotta hand it to both of our fighters.
Let's boost up the difficulty a little bit though. What we're gonna do is I'm going to give the CPU 1 star of advantage now to get things a little spicy. Work my way up to 5-star eventually, which is not possible to beat unless you figured out some gimmick to beat the fucking thing. You have to literally perfect it twice in a row based on what I've seen.
Stage selection. Now that we know our stage, it's time to
just keep sticking with Luke for a little bit longer. Alright, let's give you 1.3. God, he gets a 30% damage increase. That's so fucking much. Like, I was thinking it was gonna be like a, you know, a 0.5% increase. A fucking 30% increase in his damage. That is so much.
Open those shutters. We're ready to fight.
Oh my god, and it's only 1 star. What in the world?
Oh, looks like these two have more beef than a Philly cheesesteak.
Ah, what is that statement? These guys have more beef than a Philly cheesesteak. He must have cringed when he said that shit.
In the first round. Uses the target combo to take a chunk of damage off the opponent.
Shit.
Drive rush to try and keep
Gotta
up
remember,
the
light
attack.
kicks are the combination for that one.
Fireballs are risky, but if the opponent doesn't
There we go.
jump, they're one of the best ground game tools. The jump-in is denied. Player 2 is going to have a hard time managing their drive. Oh, easy tech. Tries to keep the pressure on the opponent by zoning with fireballs. Decides to spend the meter.
Fuck it, I'm meter dropping.
They saw a path and they took it.
I had a thought maybe I'll just EX him to get the round and try to save my meter, but like nope. After seeing how much damage that was, nope. Oh my god, there's gonna be so much damage. Fucking A. What? 30% damage increase. Oh shit, here we go. Yep. Damn, that's a fucking dope combo. I need to fucking download that shit. So in corner, he drive rushed, uppercut into light, Ashogeki into EX, or light top, Shoryuken. What?
Player 2 with a slight lead. Will they capitalize? And eats it.
Shit, now I'm petrified.
Has a full drive game. All in with a rush. A real test of nerves here. The drive impact doesn't work. They're in range. Turns out. What are you jumping in for?
That was a panic jump.
Player 2 gets the win in a convincing fashion. It's not over yet. It's time for that run back. Good read with that throw escape. Big counter. Okay, they trade hits. Counter hit throw there. No escape from the throw. Checks them with the projectile. Combo with the target combo. Player 1 is almost dead, but some clutch drive moves and a few experience in burnout.
Now, I'm a masochist, but give me a break. That 30% damage increase for just 1 star is so ridiculous. 1 star! That's 30% damage increase. That's so much damage.
Right from the get-go. That attack landed for a counter hit. They'll have to decide how to follow up. Risky up-close scrap still going. Uses the target combo as a filler. Goes for the rush. There's an overdrive shorty. Hits up the counter. This is going to be huge. Player 1 will look to break it. Poses them. Burnout activates. Are we going to see a comeback? Shin to push forward. Player 2 has depleted their drive base, but they are still within range of a fireball.
The fucking thing reaction fucking supered me.
Starts now.
Off of a light attack.
Anti-air in the butt. Links it. Fires a blast. Player 1 needs to take advantage of the gauge disparity.
Shit.
The jump in.
Oh shit, that's it. Dead. I'm fucking dead.
They put on a real clinic for us. It's not over yet. Just believe it's time for that run back.
Oh, come on, give me a break, dude.
Sticks the combo. Decent damage. What's next? You can use a drive rush like that there to maintain the pressure. Player 1 chases them down. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunity.
Oh, that's right. I'm super negative.
Each other move for move going into the midway point of the match. Player 2 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. They need to rely on their burnout.
Oh, I screwed up the combo.
Player 1 needs to hold out until the
There we go.
Player 1
Oh, jeez. Let's hope I can just at least one set. Just one set.
Shows the medium kick. The next round is beginning. What's gonna happen now? Projectile to try and change the situation. You know their fireball game is solid because they're only throwing it when their opponent can't jump them. To continue the attack with the drive. Ends the meter. Hoping for a
There we
good
go.
return. The Pale Rider hit. Now they've got him trapped. How are they gonna get
God
out?
damn that presentation, buddy.
Player 1 will look to apply pressure here. That was a clinic on how a solid neutral game.
At least I got one fucking set against them. That damage buff, holy shit, 30% for 1 star. That's a bit much. I gotta admit, that's a little bit much. I probably would have wound it down to like fucking 15%. Like, that's like a 2-star rating.
Next up, stage selection. Our fighters will want to pick the appropriate character for this match.
Let's see, that's 1.3, 1.5, 2 times the damage. 3 times the damage! Oh my god! He starts with 1 extra gauge right off the bat, 2 extra gauge plus drag consumption goes down, and then auto health regen. Except when it says slow, bitch, that ain't slow, that is fast. Let's just see how the number 4 feels right off the bat.
How's this match gonna shake out? It's gonna be
That
exciting.
sadistic smile, that masochistic smile.
The fight's now underway. This is Vicious with the play-by-play. Uses the target combo to take a chunk of damage off the opponent.
Actually, this one's pretty slow. Yeah, that health pool is drain. That health pool recovery is pretty slow. I'm thinking the level 5 one must be really fast then, right? I remember I saw the level 5 one. It was pretty ridiculous.
And they want to try to press the attack. Brings out the super art. How is this gonna work out for them? Player 2 can spend their need of care.
Damn, I got a round? I got a fucking round?
Player 1 picks up the first round.
What?
That'll give them a psychological advantage.
I got a fucking round?
How will they take advantage of everything that's happened
shit.
up until now? They got him so quick.
1 combo. You cannot let this thing combo you at all. It's game over. A single combo kills you.
It's time for both fighters to lay it all on the line.
You have to play perfect the whole fucking time.
Rising uppercut. Player 1 is going all in with a rush. Are they going to be able to come back and check?
Fucking go. Can I pull this off already? 1 set? No way. All it takes is 1 combo for it to end, though. Shit! And I got a perfect, too! On a fucking 4-star CPU at level 8! What? What just happened? I mean, technically, this is the only way you can win in many ways, because if he fucking hits you once, it's practically game over. But I can't believe that just fucking happened. You're just goofing around, seeing how this shit works, but it happened. I beat it at level 4. Oh shit!
Ah! Into this combo for more damage. You can tell they paid very close attention to the opponent's right before letting that super loose.
I swear, the CPU just did that back to me because he is just pissed. He's just pissed that I perfected him. With all those advantages, he's so mad that he's like, I'm not letting you get away with that. You must be perfect back.
Goes for the jump into perfect parry to stop them.
Wow! Now the CPU is just really pissed.
Goes for the rush. Attempts to break the stalemate with the fireball. Untouchable.
Oh my god! The CPU is so mad, it's fucking double perfect. What? Oh my god.
Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. The jump in is D-Nut tagging on a super art here to turn up the heat. Good heads up play to go all in with the super art to make sure they're dead.
I think I really pissed off Sensei CPU.
Player 2 picks up the
Sensei CPU is not happy. This is literally like that moment in like like in a martial arts movie where, like, you know, the student gets one up on the teacher, and the teacher just straight whoops his ass. That's it. That's it. I'm dead. Fucking one hit.
Combo to do enough damage to finish the round. Player 2 took no time to finish that fight.
Well, I can walk away proud. I got one fucking set on him. I was just goofing around, but I fucking got it off. Who would have guessed that? Alright, let's do Ryu next.
Time to select a stage. Are they going to go with their main character? All right, let's get it. These two fighters are looking more than ready to lock horns.
So we'll do a little bit of might make this my last set for now, and we'll do a little bit of discussion videos.
What are we going to see
we'll watch some of the gameplay footages that have come out with the new characters and the new information that's come out, or not new characters, but like new gameplay footages that have come out about the characters.
What are these fighters going to do?
And I gotta remember exactly how to play Ryu again.
Stands firm and blocks the drive impact. Drive impact is blocked, but takes a bite out of the drive gauge to apply some pressure. Neither can lean on their drive too hard right now. Good drive management could well decide this. Player 2 is
nice
just
jumping.
out of drive out.
Nice jumping.
What are they thinking here? This is the range where things get messy. Can they utilize their reach or bait each other out? Shocks them with a projectile. The jump-in is denied.
Wow.
Knocked
That was a hell of a setup.
Tries to keep the pressure on the opponent by experiencing burnout. Life lead
Oh, I thought that would kill.
goes for the shoot, ends with the
I thought for sure that would kill.
Player
I thought
one,
for sure that would kill.
Always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling. They both showed their hand a little bit, so they must be thinking of a counter. Shows the medium.
Damn.
Still slugging it out at this range. Player 2 can't springs forward with the drive rush. Closes the distance. Have they noticed the drive gauge gap? Player experiencing burnout. Oh, they're in the corner now. No running away. Big change blows. All in with the rush. And they create an opportunity for themselves to seal the deal. Player 2 needs what's this shit?
Yeah, chip damage. Can't escape the chip damage. Could have jumped over that, but
let's see if
yeah, I didn't decide to react, I guess.
Time to get down to business. The first round starts now. Hit them with a stop and bomb.
I was buckling the shit out of that input, so I had no way of getting out of that.
That quick combo. What's going to follow the combo? Player 2 will be in a world of hurt if their
Shit, I
drive
fucked up
gauge
the
runs
input.
out. Gets backed into the corner with pressure building. Hits with the overhead. Life lead opens up. Knockdown. Shows a medium kick. Good job blocking the jump. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Check with a gutsy fireball.
Gotta remember. I gotta remember.
Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage. Jump, rising, uppercut. Spends the gauge for the drive reversal.
I'm still trying to figure out the use of that in particular. The push block mechanic, blocking pushback mechanic is still something that I don't entirely understand. Like, I understand its use, but it costs 2 meter. It's really expensive.
Picks up the counter. This is going to be huge. Their spacing is so on point right now. But who's gonna overhead? And they create an opportunity for themselves to seal the deal. All in with the rush. They gotta
Get my characters mixed up a bit here.
Player 2 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. Dashes forward.
That was close. That could have been bad. I got it through a leg attack.
Lose some drive gauge when you do. Deal some damage with that quick combo. Decent damage. What's next? The throw hits. Now the fun begins. Knockdown. What's their game plan here at this critical stage? Tries to bait him with the projectile. Fireballs are risky, but if the opponent doesn't jump, they're one of the best ground game tools. Decent return on the combo. Knockdown.
Fucking let's go. Let's
Player
fucking go.
one takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with? They piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? That's some big juicy damage on the
Oh my
counter.
god.
Perfect input. Not letting up. Risky drive rush to keep it going.
Really? That's what we're doing.
The distance. Player two holding on to that corner advantage. Oh, in with a rush. Here comes the
combo.
combo. What now? Hits the drive. Player one can't use any drive moves. Gotta play it safe. Critical.
Oh, I tried to super him. I wanted it so bad. I wanted to anti-air super him. I was going in for it. I was trying to super buffer that shit in, but couldn't get it. I gotta remember, after that command attack, I can actually do the driving attack on reaction. I'm so used to just committing to that move that I'm not thinking about that at all. Let's fucking go.
Ryu putting that MD and whooping ass to work. Drive rush. Checks with a sandblast. Finds the target.
Oh, that's it. That's dead.
It is over.
Got overzealous to start pressing too many buttons.
Smart move there.
All right, let's start with a couple of bitty-ers. So. Let's start by talking about all right, I've got one. We're going to be talking about what Daigo thinks. The almighty Daigo thinks of Street Fighter 6. General impressions of the game. Before I do that. Go. All right. So what we're going to be looking at is, let's see here. That's why. I changed this real quick. Meantime, what we can do is this down to no, I'm gonna do it the other way around. Will I fix it later down the line, which I will. Hold on. That should do. All right, so we're gonna talk about what does Daigo think of Street Fighter 6. He is saying one good reason why Street Fighter 6 is gonna be godlike. So let's hear his perspective from probably the most famous FGC competitor out there.
神ゲーですか？それはねまだわからない。わからないっていうか神ゲーになる可能性が高いと思ってる。めちゃめちゃ高いと思ってる。ただ。
I don't know if you've ever seen the channel, Lou. It's one of my favorite channels. It's called FGC Translated, although they are moving over to a new channel soon. But they take professional players from Korea and Japan, I think primarily Japan, and they translate them into English and present them here to the US. So it's really nice because we get to hear what the Japanese players think.
この、パリだったり、あとは、モダンだったり、ここら辺だよね。ここら辺がどうなるかだよね。ここら辺によってはゲームが壊れちゃう可能性があって、それはね、調整できると思うんだけど、でもそういう土台、このゲームの土台である、土台っていうかさ、要するに、格闘ゲームにおいて一番、その、ゲーム作りって言ったらいいかな、その作品において一番大事なのは、どういうコンセプトで、その開発者がこのゲーム作ってるかなんですよ。マジで。で、コンセプトやよし、思想が正しい、このゲームは。攻めた人間が偉いんだっていうメッセージがひしひしと伝わってくる。だから、仮にそうじゃない要素があったとしたら、修正されるんですよ。そういう風に。これってゲームを消極的な方向に持っていってしまってたね。ごめんなさい。じゃあ、ちゃんと弱くしますねっていう風に多分なる。でこの根っこの思想がひん曲がってるとなんかよくわかんないお見合い芸人が出来上がるわけですよ。だけど思想がマジでしっかりしてるから、土台のね。そうだからこのゲームは俺は心配しなくていいと思う。発売したばっかの時にここちょっといびつだねっていうことはあるかもしれないけど大丈夫。根がいい子なんでこの子は、この子は根がいい子なんで大丈夫だと思います。
So,
これってゲームの土台である、土台っていうかさ、要するにパリだったり、あとはモダンだったり、ここら辺だよね。ここら辺がどうなるかだよね。ここら辺によってはゲームが壊れちゃう可能性があって、それはね。
So, right off the bat, he's talking about it's possible that these mechanics like drive rush, drive impact or parry, as people get better at the game, they could be broken, they could be underpowered, and they can always be updated later down the line. But it's these very mechanics that are introduced into the game that are not only very eye-popping and very appealing to players, but what it does do is that it does create a push and pull at the lower level that anyone can be a part of. And I think that's because it forces engagement out of both players. It's one of those things where it's not uncommon for a lot of fighting games where someone has a really cheesy tactic and it's so friggin' strong that the person actually cannot actively participate in the game. So when that happens, it ruins the game for that person. Granted, it's a legit strategy and zoning and things like that. They're all legit strategies, but this game rewards more aggressive play because it wants people to press buttons, it wants people to get close, and these things are good for lower level entry players because it allows them to do cool shit that is fun to do. That obviously includes like the motor controls and stuff like that, but I think when he's talking about like the philosophy of the game, I think what Daigo's really talking about is that the game should be a video game. You know, that's the most important thing. A lot of fighting games, even my favorite fighting game of all time, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, has very esportsy designs into the game, and so they try to make a video game that's built for esports without even knowing for sure that there's even going to be an audience for it. I remember there's a lot of games like For Honor, for example, was really pushing heavily into the esports category, and a lot of people got so carried on about the esports stuff, esports, and they're forgetting the most important thing about their game, which is that it's a video game. People have to play and enjoy it, but more important, people have to want to watch it being played. And these things are important because without those things, people lose interest and are going to move on from the conversation and the topic. So I think that all these things have really benefited, and I think that Street Fighter 6 is going to be a very interesting show, like an interesting case study as time goes by. I think it's very likely it's going to succeed, but even if it, whether it succeeds or doesn't succeed, I think either way, this will be a very interesting case study for us to look into the future when it comes to fighting games as a future. I remember everyone for the last, like, you know, before Street Fighter 6 was announced, everyone was talking about Project L as that's going to be the fighting game that revolutionizes and changes fighting games forever, which is probably going to be true. But I think that Street Fighter 6 kind of beat it to the punch just because of all the content and all the stuff that's in there. I think that Street Fighter 6 is going to have that foundation shaking gameplay and a cultural awareness in not just here in the US, but even Japan and everywhere else in the world that we haven't seen in a very long time with the fighting game. Like, I thought that Mortal Kombat 11 would do that, and in a lot of ways it kind of did, but it only did it for a really short amount of time. I think after the first month of Mortal Kombat 11, people went pretty quiet about the game, and it lacked that cultural impact. Like Elden Ring, for example, had that cultural impact for such a long time. People were talking about it for like 3 to 4 months. All the time. It was everywhere. And now like Elden Ring has kind of like cemented itself into like the zeitgeist of gamers indefinitely, whether it be good or bad for them depending on how they played or enjoyed it. Either way, it like cemented itself into that conversation, and I feel like Street Fighter 6 is moving in that direction. I feel like it's gonna be a cultural impact more than it is gonna be like a gameplay impact. Like there's gonna be a very big shift. There seems to be a very weird kind of hype around the game that I haven't seen in a while, at least in a while for a fighting game. So I think that was an interesting topic. Let's also look at here. We'll do this. So let's do this. All right. Next thing we're going to check out is a video with Tasty Steve, because a character that was not on my radar got on my radar, which is JP. I've always been aware of him, but I didn't really realize how interesting this character is. This is a very interesting zoner. And I don't see myself playing a zoner character, but this is very unique with what he's capable of. I haven't seen this video, so this is a first reveal for me, but I've seen JP's like techniques, and he has some really unique stuff, like a double teleport and shit like that, which is really rare to have a character with so many zoning tools have so many defensive options. But let's go ahead and watch this together with Tasty Steve. Gonna be a bit of a longer video. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna cut ahead of it a little bit and get to the gameplay sequence right off the bat.
Hello world, and welcome back to Tasty TV. Because starting with, now it's crazy because the way that they actually take you through this character tutorial. It's not like just combos, but this is more of a play style guide to how to play this character, starting with how his moves work. And of course, you can see right now this
JP
long,
can be dealt with.
full screen projectile with 3 versions.
Yeah, I don't.
Of course,
At
right?
this
He has
point,
the
I
regular
wouldn't
version with
claim that
3
any
button
characters
strings, and it's full screen, and he has
top
the
tier until we get our hands on them.
Of course, this is
Obviously,
giving
we
you just
got
a
like
basic general
Zangief being a big
breakdown
topic
of
right
how
now,
to play
and
this character.
obviously Manon being a big
And their
topic right
moves,
now. But
like,
we'll have to
starting
see
off,
with
right?
things
So
going
the little
out. But
shattered glass
I've never seen a
effect,
zoning character that has
actually gives
this
you the
many
ability to
techniques. This is
teleport,
crazy.
as well as just set out a projectile on top of them. Also, all these move names, they sound so regal. But yeah, this actually gives you a full-blown breakdown of moves specifically. Not just the fireball, not just, you know, a shooting move, but they give you the use of these moves, like telling you, hey, look, this is going to keep your opponent at a distance.
The training mode,
and it gives you
the
ability
tutorial
to
mode,
try
and
it
the training mode
while
in this
it's
game is
explaining it,
unreal.
which is
I've never,
really good.
never
for
imagined they
fighting
would put in
games.
this
I know a
much
lot
work
of
into
people want these
education,
tutorials to be a
which
lot
is
more,
always something that bugs me
purposeful,
about certain games like
intentional with how
King
to
of
play the
Fighters, for
game
example.
and teach people how
I
to
have
play
to
the
go
game.
out of my way
This
to learn
tutorial
things.
right here
I have to
for
really
Street
go out of my
Fighter
way,
is
so
a
like I
step
can
in
look
the
up so
right
many
direction.
fucking videos. Which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it also can get a little
And
annoying
look at the
at a certain
range
point.
he already has. We already saw before that he can use that shattered glass effect to teleport. He also has a ground projectile that comes out, and that is really hard to jump over. I can tell you right now.
That ground projectile that he's got is huge. It's practically a King of Fighters projectile.
The EX, 2 giant pillars of psycho power pop out of the ground. And look,
If you look at how big that is insane because
the EX, 2 giant pillars of psycho power.
that is crazy. Let's actually slow it down. So he does it. It's a down input. That is literally almost half. That's like a third of the screen. His EX version covers a third of the screen, and it looks like it lingers on for a couple extra frames. That's insane. That's legit crazy. I've never could have imagined a projectile like that existing in a game like this. Now, like, the reason why like a projectile like that exists in King of Fighters is because the gameplay movement is so damn fast that it makes it really difficult to actually land those consistently on your opponent because they can get on you so fast. Like, they can just be instantly on top of you. But in Street Fighter, you can only walk towards someone or dash towards someone. So your movement is already limited. Even with the drive rush mechanic, it's still not fast enough to deal with something like that. So that is his EX fireballs. Granted, he can only do it 3 times, you know, in quick succession. But that's still incredibly strong for a projectile. Like, projectile speaking, that's crazy. That's gonna be scary. It's gonna be one of those cases where, like, literally he will zone you out, and once you get past that medium, like that middle part of the screen, and get into medium range, every JP is gonna pop that right off the bat. The ones right up close to him, just to push you back a little bit. And so you can continue zoning you again.
And look at the range. I just wanted to step back to show you the range, and it is button strength dependent, right? So if you hit the 2 closer punch buttons,
yeah,
you'll get an
you get
EX
control
version
of the distance
or
and
if you hit the
range.
further buttons, the heavier damage buttons, you will get the
And you
further
can't jump
EX
over it
version.
because the second pillar is larger. It will catch you out of the air.
And them breaking down these moves like this also helps me as a commentator, you know, Streebog. It makes it a little easier to remember, but also it really does get specific in how you can apply things. So if you're playing somebody that may keep jumping on you, that really wants to control this mid-range, you can use moves like this, like Trig Laugh, like that standing medium punch. And look at this,
Conjunction with
it even
other
shows
attacks
you how
plus
to
range.
properly knock down, chase up,
And it can
and
combo
bait out
off a
attacks so you can
projectile.
punish your opponent and get really good advantage after it. Streebog actually moves them back a little bit. So the footsie game and that neutral control game that you typically see, like just for example, a Ryu trying to control, gets a lot harder because fireballs will get beat by that, as well
And
as just
one of the big
range
things about
of
that
it as
move
well.
is that it has a huge blowback. So he
Also,
immediately,
the
if you
little
get hit by
move
that by any tap,
translations down
it
there
looks
in the
like it's pretty
descriptions
easy
really do
to
a
hit
good
them
job,
from.
even more so. If you don't visually get the confirmation,
You're
it
immediately back
literally
into
gives
zoning
you
territory
a
again.
written explanation of how to use these moves and just an idea of where to place them. This is me messing around with the moves as well as just what I saw from what they just showed me, and already I started
What's
getting
funny is
ideas
that I
and
don't
wanting
think
to try to
JP is going to be
explore
very
what this
good
character can
at
do.
the
And really,
at
I'm
the
telling
lower
you right
levels.
now,
Like I
once
think at the
again,
average
having
lower
so
level
much
or
fun.
the
character not only looks
characters
cool, but his
that
playstyle is really
are
cool. And still, it's
gonna
like
be
a
like,
spacing
what do they
hybrid
call them?
Style from this
scrub
character that we're
stompers?
getting, which is really,
I don't think he's going to be that kind of
considering
character, but I
this
think he's
is
going to be a
new character in Street
menace
Fighter lore.
at the higher levels. When you play against a player that is so good at zoning out and knows how to control spacing, it's going to be such an annoying fight at the higher
The X
levels.
version, or excuse me, the overdrive version, the OD version, if you're nasty, actually gives you a wall bounce, and you can see right there lots of practical uses. So I know one of the main focuses for Street Fighter 6 we feel like is that drive rush, but looking at how JP is using this character's moves as well as his normals, and obviously drive rush will have an effect, but I feel like just his range game is
I
gonna
do
be
notice
something
that his
unique in
light
Street
normals
Fighter,
are
typically like we've never seen before.
really slow. That hit with that staff is pretty slow by most standards. That's
Also,
actually
another
probably
cool
a
thing
frame
about
or
Street
two
Fighter 6
slower
in
than the
general,
average
which is
jab in the
kinda cranked
game.
up from Street Fighter 5 is if you notice when characters have kind of like tools, whether it be like a knife or a pipe. In the instance of
See,
Koji
that
in Street
that
Fighter
move is
5,
fucking
they had these
insane.
cool recovery
You can
animations.
teleport jump to those
JP
fucking
gets a lot of
fireballs.
that if you notice. And look at the range of that overdrive Streetbog and how it bounces. Once again,
Damn,
it
it's
does
actually got
kind
a
of
lot more range
slam
than I
out of
thought.
the wave.
It
as
goes
you see,
beyond the
and that
actual
really
slash.
does help in that neutral
Yeah, it
game
extends
where a lot
beyond the
of characters
slash.
really like to start their pressure and start
That's
to try to
actually pretty
find
big.
hits to get these big combos. That move really does a great job. And it just seems like some of his normals do a great job of doing that as well. This will do.
Archer. Place a void of psycho power in the air with thorns spawn. Useful way
this
of
is
limiting
what
your
we were
opponent's
looking at
movement
before
with
some of the new
vying
moves.
for, I'm guessing spacing.
New moves to us, right? And new moves to
Yeah.
JP. That void gives you the ability.
So I think by
to
itself
place
it's
like
not
a
that
little crack
strong,
above 'em,
but when
right?
you
And can
EX burn
still
that,
use
that's a
the
really
full
powerful
screen
technique.
projectiles to hit them into it. But that's not the only use. You literally get to teleport out of it as well.
Yeah. The big question is JP... I'm curious, what do you think, Lou? Do you
And
think
as you can see,
JP
the
is a
different button
gimmicky
strings
character?
really do in
Or do you
classic
think he's
Street
going to be a
Fighter
threat?
fashion. They control the ranges at which they pop up on the screen, added for a little, extra effect.
Because
of, hey, when is he
traditionally
gonna
in
do it? What's the
in
range
Street
gonna
Fighter
be?
games,
And it really does
traditionally
add to the gameplay
defensive
of
characters
guessing
like
of what's gonna
zoners
happen next
are
versus
usually
JP,
some of the
who
strongest
has some very
characters
strong
in Street
full
Fighter,
screen,
like Guile, for example.
approaches, as well as a nice little nifty command throw that we're going to check out a little later. And once again, even though you can teleport after, you can use it for the simple fact of instantly teleporting to throw your opponent off. So it has multiple uses, and once again, adding to how unique this character JP is overall. You guys know me. I get a little carried away with these training modes, right? So especially with the character tutorial being so
Increased
well
size to
implemented
this.
this time around, and they're giving us very cool visual guides as well as inputs on screen to show us how we can use it, right? While giving us a description is a very cool added thing to this expansive like Street Fighter 6 that we've never seen before. I feel like this is probably this is definitely the best Street Fighter training mode I've ever seen, especially ever laid hands on. And just being able to
You think he's a
practice
gimmicky
this over
zoner?
and over at
That's
your
going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
lets you get a lot more comfortable with these things, right? So you no pressure to try them even in training mode. Very focused explanations on how to play the character.
I know
and how to
that
use the
professional
moves
player
and, like, when
Nemo is
apply.
going to be playing him. He's saying that's going to be his main. which I've never seen Nemo use a character quite like this before. I'm more familiar with his Gil than any other character, but
yeah, starting to see the mix-up capabilities, right? Also, I will say that this character definitely leaves a lot more to the imagination, because I feel like even though this tutorial really does kind of set you on the right path of how to understand it, and I'm sure this is the case with all the other characters, it really does kind of make me excited about what we could potentially be seeing from a character like JP, a brand new character in JP in the future. And the overdrive, when I keep doing that, the overdrive version of it actually sets up 2 of them. It sets up 2 of them.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's 3/4 of the screen.
It's still placed
That's
on the button
huge.
combination, as you can see down there.
He covers up 3/4 of the screen with projectiles.
Added mix-up as well as added
It's practically
damage.
a full screen projectile. That's insane.
Of departure and makes
Doesn't even look like you can duck it.
combo.
It's straight up full screen.
Once again, testing out the teleport. And just having those options to do that, right? Just having the ability to be like, you know what, I can teleport and stay in. I can teleport to try to force a mix-up, or as well as get added extra combo damage if you find that hit. Teleporting out of both of the voids.
We get it, buddy. You can do lots of teleports.
With departure, right? So it would really do a lot.
Amnesia.
Amnesia.
Ward off an attack while
yeah.
sticking them with the
This
bomb.
move
Oh,
is
that's right.
extra cheap. And once again,
This is
adds to
ridiculous.
just the flavor of this
He
character.
has a
JP.
counter.
Sets up a counter
That
and
sets
a
up a
mine
bomb.
that homes onto you and explodes.
I'm sure you can block it. I don't know if it's unblockable. If that's unblockable, that's legit fucked up.
I said
But
this character was
either
a
way,
unique
if you
zoning,
can block that,
right? Think
he gets
about that.
pressure.
Backing
It's
up
immediately
afterwards and just
pressure
watching
time.
the detonation. Now it does have a little bit of recovery, well, a bunch of recovery, and the startup is a little tricky, as you can see by me.
Yeah,
having
it's got a
problems
late
as
startup,
I'm getting
late.
donkey kicked by this guy review. But once you get it though, you start to see where it can be implemented, right? Like when you're in these situations where people try to roll forward or crouch and medium kick into fireball.
And
this
best
is
thing
when
about it,
something like
he
this
instead
really
of him
works
doing
out.
like
Any of
traditional
those
counters, usually do
strings that
attacks
actually
for you.
need to make
But
possible
what makes
the
this so
fireball
good
or
is that he
staggered
doesn't
pressure
attack.
can be interrupted with
He
amnesia.
moves out of
And
the
you get
weight of
this
the attack,
homing
which
mine
allows him
as a
to do
reward.
whatever he wants at that moment. That gives freedom to the player, which makes it way more dangerous.
Once I finally get this amnesia to work right, I forgot how counters work. That's what this amnesia is. And just testing the ranges of how far and when it'll activate. Now we've seen what'll happen. It'll actually messing with the man, the tumble, the body tumble. Oh my God, JP. But if you do it.
Maybe you can actually get a hit confirm off that. It looks like he can. It looks like he can strike back immediately afterwards. Activates 2 bombs. Wow! That's fucking crazy. That's combo extension territory.
Saw the reversal input right there, and the EX still giving you 2 explosive mines. The overdrive giving you 2 explosive mines right there.
Yikes. Scary.
Giving you juggle properties.
Scary.
As well. We've seen what he can do already. Just a little teaser how he can actually set up those departure and go in either to a combo or just, you know, keep the.
Although I would love to see him practice with it a little bit more. He just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. I've already seen it, but he
See
just.
how fast the CPU just did that? Testing out, right? Instead of using it up or just take that advantage. Just things that I'm thinking about while I'm sitting here trying some of these things, even in the tutorial mode.
Okay, so crafts a clone out of Psycho Power and sends it flying at your opponent. Useful for checking your opponent and causing damage at long range.
Yeah, I think this is what the projectile
What?
turns out to be.
Oh, this is that long claw thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's the claw.
Yes.
This is the one I'm most confused about its usage.
Three different
It does do
versions
knockdown,
with the
though,
regular
but I
attack
think
weapons,
that
as
so
well
does
as
the other
having
one.
EX version. And you see how he's blocking that down back?
See, what I do know about that one, what makes that dangerous, is that for the first time I've seen in a fighting game, a zoning attack that's low, medium, and overhead.
Just
I've
having a
never seen an
full
overhead projectile
screen
before in a fighting
projectile,
game.
Slow, but still effective.
It is slow, though. Holy shit, that is slow. The startup time on that thing is no joke. It has quick recovery, though. It looks like you can block almost immediately afterwards.
So the medium version, an overhead. So mix-ups with the fireball that go full screen.